Hey, what's up guys, ImpulseEvan here, and today I'm bringing you the video. In this video I'm going to be reacting to the new FNAF theory, called the Lost FNAF game that solves security breach. Now, given the upcoming project's mega thread and the circus animatronics in the thumbnail for the video, I'm going to assume that this is going to be talking about Into Madness a little bit, and I believe I also heard some people saying that he talked about GGY a little bit, and there's also Gregory in the thumbnail, so that makes sense. I don't know what he's gonna say. It's 9 minutes and 11 seconds, and so today we're just gonna be reacting to it. Like I said in the last two theory reactions, I do disagree with his theories, his past two theories, but I do really like how he looks deeper into the small details. I do really like that about his videos. So I don't know what he's gonna say. I hope it's a good video, and let's just see what it's all about. Let's go.
In November of 2017, Scott Cawthon put out a long Steam post detailing all upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's projects. One of the most interesting ones that fans have been curious about for years now is FNAF Into Madness. This was going to be a brand new FNAF game made by Scott, and it already had a title. Based on the game already having a title, it seems like Scott already had a story for the game fleshed out, but the game never came out. Or did it? What if I told you that the games we are currently playing, FNAF VR, AR, and Security Breach, are FNAF Into Madness? And Into Madness single-handedly connects to Patient 46, these new FNAF characters, and what's going to happen in the upcoming Ruin DLC.
Alright, I'm going to pause here, because I want to get my thoughts across for what I think is going to happen in Into Madness. I think that Into Madness is going to be its own game still, and will come out in the future. Because of Balloon World being named Into Madness in the files, and there's the whole arcade conspiracy thing, right? That is very interesting by itself, but Into Madness was originally supposed to be a game in the same vein as Update 2, where it's a collection of minigames. So my idea is that Into Madness will be its own game after Ruin comes out, and that it will have, and it will be about the arcade conspiracy. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't know what, he's trying to say here, because, FNAF VR, Security Breach, and FNAF AR were all on the upcoming project's mega thread, but they were completely separate from Into Madness. So, I guess maybe he's saying that they're, combined into Madness now? I don't know, but Ruin, maybe could have something to do with Into Madness, but I'm not sure yet. But let's see what he says.
Well, buckle in, because I'm convinced that this theory is correct and will blow your mind. Okay. In Scott's Steam post, he mentioned that FNAF Into Madness would be a compilation of several previous gameplay ideas in the same vein as Update 2 of FNAF World. And to summarize from the finale of my I Solved Security Breach series, the gameplay ideas we see in FNAF World Update 2 are quite literally a character breaking the fourth wall and using mini-games to enter the real world by driving the player into madness. This is literally the plot of FNAF VR and what happens to Vanessa. Glitchtrap takes over Vanessa's consciousness and inserts himself into the real world by controlling her. But in the finale video, that's where I left it. The Into Madness era of FNAF has already come and gone with Vanessa, is what I thought before I did a little more digging and reading. One of the stories that I've been really curious to read is GGY from the 5th Tales from the Pizzaplex book. This immediately stuck out to me because GGY has the highest score on a lot of the arcade machines in Security Breach.
Yes.
When this story was announced, I got nervous because maybe we overlooked something. I never thought that Gregory having the highest score on all of their arcade machines was a big deal, because we also see Freddy and Roxy and Vanny on these machines. Obviously, it was just meant to be an Easter egg, right? Well, now that the story is out and I've had a chance to read it, I am in mental anguish. Here's a quick rundown of GGY, and if you don't want spoilers, there's your warning. GGY centers around Tony. Tony is a kid who dreams of being an investigative reporter. After getting assigned some writing homework at school, he decides to write about the mystery of
Francis,
GGY,
William, and Oliver.
Why
clearly
GGY has all of the highest scores on the arcade machines at the Pizzaplex. Tony spent a bunch of time
impossibly
at the
high scores,
asking other kids if they knew who GGY was. But despite his efforts, he got nowhere. Tony then decided to look at the customer database to see if he could find more info about GGY. When he pulled up his records, he found that GGY turned his play pass into a security badge, giving him access to every area of the Pizzaplex. Yes. The book states that GGY is a very professional hacker, just like Patient 46.
Exactly.
Tony
right.
also found that Gregory was using the hacked play pass to let 3 other people into the Pizzaplex.
I think he meant to say GGY there, but it is Gregory.
Counselors who were declared missing by police, which mimics what we see in the retro series CDs with
Mimic.
the therapist going missing one by one. The therapist in the retro CDs mentions that they don't just work for Fazbear Entertainment.
I even work in schools.
Yeah.
They also work in schools, which is exactly what we see in GGY. So if you
Yes.
haven't pieced it together yet, the story is heavily insinuating that Gregory is patient 46.
I would
And the
go as
reason
far
he
as
has
to
the
say
highest
confirming.
score on all of the arcade machines
Pretty
is because
blatantly,
he's a
honestly.
very proficient hacker, just like we learn in the retro CDs. One of the characters from GGY, Alex, even appears in Security Breach. In the book, his initials are ABC on the arcade machines.
It's
and
Axel,
ABC
but
is seen
close
on
enough.
multiple scoreboards. But with Gregory being patient 46, we now have some big problems. In the retro CDs, we learn that patient 46, aka Gregory, was seen talking with Vanessa before the events of Security Breach. So why now in-game does he pretend that he doesn't know who Vanessa is?
I don't know who she is, but she's trying to get me.
And in general, why does Gregory pretend like he has no idea what's going on throughout the entirety of Security Breach?
I don't think he's pretending. I think that he was infected by Glitchtrap, or he's a robot that was infected with Glitchtrap, or he's a series of robots and one of them was infected by Glitchtrap and replaced him in the past. That's a lot of robot talk, but that's basically what I believe. I believe that it was Gregory, but it was a different Gregory, or it was Gregory possessed under the influence of Glitchtrap.
Well, if Gregory is patient 46, we learn in the retro CDs that Gregory was caught talking to himself and talking to his computer.
Lots of time talking to yourself. I saw in your file that you have developed software programs that talk to you in repeat phrases. The program asks you questions and prompts you for responses.
Which is the same thing Vanessa is doing in the FNAF AR emails. That must mean that Gregory is also possessed by Glitchtrap. After you take this into account, all the dominoes kind of fall in the right places. I think it's fairly obvious that if Vanny and Vanessa are the same person, the Vanessa side of her isn't aware / doesn't remember what Vanny does. This lines up with the FNAF AR emails when we see her battle for control of her own mind. And we literally see her memory loss in-game. Vanessa seemingly does the right thing by putting Gregory in Lost and Found and trying to contact his parents. Then Vanny shows up with a completely different plan. Gregory escapes Vanny, but later on, Vanessa is seen still trying to figure out how to contact Gregory's parents. If Vanessa was faking doing the right thing in front of Gregory, why would she keep up the lie even in private when Gregory isn't there? This is the biggest piece of evidence that Vanessa is not aware of her Vanny side and doesn't remember anything that—
I think she's aware of her Vanny side, but doesn't know what she's doing. Because of the way that she acts about it. You know, she does, like, there is just a screwdriver there allowing Gregory to use that to escape. It's possible that she knew that Vanny was going to try to get at him and left it there just in case that he needed it. That's possible. I feel like she probably does know about Vanny, but she just doesn't she doesn't remember what Vanny does exactly.
That she does while she's Vanny. And if this is the case for Vanessa, it must be the case for Gregory too. Vanessa and Gregory don't know who each other are because they were seen talking to each other when they were in the possession of Glitchtrap. We know this because the therapist says that Gregory was talking to Vanny, referencing the rabbit costume.
What are those things? They almost look like rabbit ears.
Yep.
But even with all of these pieces starting to fit together, we still have one gigantic question. How did Gregory fall under the control of Glitchtrap? And I'm about 1000% sure I know the answer to this.
Donc bonjour tout le monde, je suis Oriane, la directrice du développement des services chez Parkinson Québec.
Yo, what the hell? This is an hour-long ad. What the actual hell? Do you guys see this? This is a 1 hour long ad. Skip.
Like I explained earlier, FNAF Into Madness is based on FNAF World Update 2, where we see a character enter the real world by driving the player of a minigame into madness. We see this happen in FNAF VR with Vanessa, but this happened to Vanessa because she was beta testing the FNAF VR game. Gregory's just a kid, he couldn't have also been beta testing this VR game. Well, let's look at what we know about Gregory. Well, we know that he loves playing the arcade machines, his initials are all over them. And which arcade cabinet that we can play in-game is noticeably possessed by Glitchtrap? The BB World minigame in the secret daycare room. I believe that while playing the arcade machines, Gregory found the BB World one in the daycare theater, and while playing it, got a little too curious and wound up getting possessed by Glitchtrap, just like Vanessa. As we see in the BB World duffel bag message, customers were complaining about the
an idea I had was that either it was Vanessa's doing, and she like got there was another Gregory bot, like an older Gregory bot, that she would have like infected with Glitchtrap, or instead it could be that Gregory was already a hacker. And I mentioned this in a video where I talked about In the Flesh. It's possible that Gregory was already a hacker, and he hacked into the systems of Fazbear Entertainment and got the game early, and while Glitchtrap was still a part of it, and he took hold of Gregory as well. Because in the Flesh, there's this random dude, I forgot what his name is, but I'm having a brain fart. I can't even say brain fart. He hacked the systems, and he got the Springtrap's Revenge VR game early, and then that never goes anywhere. It seems like it has to mean something, but it doesn't go anywhere. So I feel like it's very possible that that's what happened to Gregory, or Gregory was replaced with an older Gregory bot that was like more infected with like agony or something like that, and then he ended up hacking and then getting possessed by Glitchtrap. Because in the fourth closet, the fourth Charlie bot is scrapped, but then she ended up being possessed by Elizabeth. So what was the point of like the fourth Charlie bot is scrapped because she was like oversaturated with the negative emotions of Henry and stuff, and then Elizabeth ended up possessing her anyway. So what's the point of having her be what was the point of her being oversaturated with agony, unless that has something to do with her possession, like it made it easier to possess or something like that. And then that could have something to do with why he was able to get possessed by Glitchtrap, why Gregory could have been possessed by Glitchtrap. That's my idea. That's one of my ideas. I don't think that's 100% certain or anything, but I think that is an idea that does make sense. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit because I don't remember what he was saying.
Got a little too curious and wound up getting possessed
right. Okay.
by
Yeah.
Glitchtrap.
That's possible too.
As
yeah.
we see in the BB World duffel bag message, customers were complaining about the exact glitch Gregory fell for, but since Gregory is a pro, he actually was able to follow the purple path and fall under Glitchtrap's control. Once this happens, Vanny moves the arcade cabinet to the secret daycare room, as we see in the message. And to put the cherry on top of this theory, the BB World game is actually labeled as something else in the game
Into Madness.
files. It's labeled as Scott Into Madness. The Into Madness era of FNAF is far from over, and so is this theory. Because with the information we know now, I think we can accurately predict what's going to happen in the Ruin DLC. One of the endings you can unlock in Security Breach involves beating all 3 Princess Quest arcade machines. If you do this, then Vanessa is now free from Glitchtrap's control. This lines up since we see the same door Vanessa was locked behind at the end of FNAF VR, and the Princess Quest game literally
Princess
showed
Quest
up in
is
the mobile
part
version
of
Help Wanted. Princess Quest in
Princess
more
Quest
ways
is
than
part
one
of
is
the
connected
arcade
to
conspiracy.
Vanessa and FNAF Help Wanted. So what about Gregory? Well, now we know that Gregory fell under the control of Glitchtrap through the BB World arcade machine. And in the DLC poster, we see Gregory or Gregory's consciousness trapped, with him communicating digitally through the screens, saying, "Help me." So that must mean that in the DLC, this little girl, who's probably an Elizabeth bot, but we won't go there today, will have to beat the BB World minigame, or at least a version of it, to free Gregory. I wouldn't be surprised if they introduced a BB World 2 and 3, just like Princess Quest. I actually believe that the reason we see a BB World machine in the Afton ending is because there was a cut ending to Security Breach where you could free Gregory from Glitchtrap's control, but Steel Wool Studios left out any hint that Gregory could be in the same boat as Vanessa for some reason. This theory also perfectly aligns with this dialogue from the first gameplay trailer.
And if you fail me, then you will.
Both of you.
Both of you is referring to Vanessa and Gregory, who are both under Glitchtrap's control. So how does this theory connect to the new merch designs? Well, look at them. They are literally called the Balloon Circus characters. I believe in the DLC we'll see these characters.
And there is a
BB
circus
World
in the
2 and
background of
3,
Balloon World.
or at least a version of that game, so we can free Gregory, just like Princess Quest freed Vanessa. Also, if you're a believer that
makes sense.
Gregory is occupying the sticky note room, or maybe even a version of Charlie 2, the sticky notes start to make more sense. Gregory loves playing the arcade cabinets, and we
I like how we
see
advertise
fun
IDs
games,
Fantasies
all
video.
the games, play all day. Not to mention the repeated drawing of balloons. Anyways, I have never been more confident about a theory in my life, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed. I think at this point, it's become clear that the books are required reading to figure out the modern FNAF lore. There is no way that you could have figured out that Gregory is Patient 46 or any of the stuff that happened to Gregory with just playing the game. And in
Well, Matt Pat kind of MatPat figured out that Gregory was patient 46, and everybody thought he was crazy. And then turns out he was right.
In my opinion, that just makes FNAF less accessible and more confusing. Because throwing
That is
out
fair.
such blatant one-to-one lore reveals
In
in a book
books,
series
yeah.
that also talks about Phasgoo is a little confusing and inconsistent.
Hey, this series
Nevertheless,
doesn't talk about
GGY is a good
Phasgoo.
story with a good twist at the end that I didn't spoil, so go read it. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
All right, well, I actually think that theory makes a lot of sense. I think I agree with it. My previous idea was that okay. I think that maybe this can. I like the idea, and I think it probably is true, maybe, but I don't know if it would happen in Ruin. I feel like Afton's like physical form would probably be defeated in Ruin, but he would still exist as Glitch Trap, possibly. So it's possible, or would he exist as Glitch? I don't know. I think he might be right, actually. I feel like Into Madness as its own game would work a little bit better as its own, as the collection of minigames as it was supposed to be, and it being about the arcade conspiracy adds up a lot, and I think that makes sense. I would prefer it as a game, but I don't know. I don't think it sorry, I don't think it will be a game. I think he's probably right about this. But let me know in the comments what you guys think of this theory, and in the comments again. No, I can't speak today, guys. I'm very sorry, but I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to. Check out his video it'll be in the description down below. But I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.